Good morning. Hope you have a good day. Thumbs up today. January. Winter. And the sun is shining and it's warm. Unusual winter so far. Nearly every day was above freezing with bright sunshine and blue skies. Fantastic. Hope the winter holds. So, we got sunshine. There used to be a commercial on television for liquid sunshine, meaning orange juice. Love orange juice. Liquid sunshine. This is my brunch. It's a late brunch, I admit it. But breakfast is the best time of day. Orange suffer. And muffins. The Muffin Man. This is from a fast food service. Drive up window and you order what you want. And I wanted muffins. My favorite for breakfast, noon, lunch, and supper. They are delicious. Another advertisement, nook and crannies in the muffin, and you have egg, and you have cheese. Cheese is melted just right. It's so beautiful. Look at all those nook and crannies. Yummy, 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 yummy. You have cheese melted, and underneath there is a perfecto sausage. Muffin, egg, sausage, and cheese. This is what makes life, to me, worth living. Food, beauty, and I admit that's subjective. Not everybody can like the same food. Not everybody appreciates the same beauty. That's why you have all the different schools of art. And there are other reasons for a happy and joyful life. One of them is sexuality. That is why Wilhelm Reich, MD, is one of my most important mentors. Of course, he's dead now, and he died, as most martyrs do, a horrible death. But you have to be optimistic in order to enjoy this world. You have to keep your eye on the prize. And some of that prize is a big tall glass of orange juice. Yay, orange juice! Love it. Absolutely love it. I might as well have the bite out of the sausage now. I just don't like to talk with my mouth full. Because my grandmother might see me from the astral plane. Speaking of the astral plane, this is a little book. When I was stationed in the small town, which is not really a small town, of Hanau, Germany, with the United States Army, there were these little books printed in elementary German. And this is a book about Albert Einstein. And this is leading in two different directions. Two different directions. That is up and down. The Ligum and the Yanni. Both the mind and the body. That great division. Even this little elementary book on German has printed in it about Einstein's theory of relativity. Admittedly, it's at an elementary grade level, but I'm going to quote in German the part of this book about relativity where the mass of a big body in outer space causes light to bend around the body, which proves that mass can cause light to bend and assume probably gravity. Past video introduced Michael Powell's Stairway to Heaven. Ironically, Zecharia Sitchin has a book by the same name, Stairway to Heaven. Yay, Zecharia Sitchin. We'll come back to Zecharia because he's, like Eric von Däniken, has had a lot of bad press. It's a shame, too, because both of these men introduced ideas into society that were novel and innovative and changed many people's idea of what reality in the universe was really all about. And though I'm not for overthrowing society or the economy, personal opinion, novelty, and innovation keeps people interested in living. If they're not too violent, if the innovation and novelty is not too upsetting, it gives a reason for going on to the next day, the surprise of having something different happen. That's amusing and entertaining and funny. And there is a funny part to both Eric von Däniken's idea and Zecharia Sitchin's idea in Stairway to Heaven. As I mentioned, the same title as the 1946 motion picture about out-of-body experiences called Stairway to Heaven. Very ironic to me that they both have the same title, because according to Carl Jung, MD, psychiatrist, he claims that synchronicity has a deep spiritual reason when two things coincide in coincidence. I also believe that. It's a hint. It's a sign. It's a sigil of some deep philosophical reason that these things coincided. And I think the reason is, to me, this astonishing book that came out called Storming Heaven. This was one of the first books I ever got, that I ever bought, about lethargic Sawyer LSD. This was one of the first books I ever got on LSD, folks. Yeah, remember, when I got out of the United States military, it was near the end of the 1960s, 68. And the reason I say, as if you should know, do you remember? Because I posted it in a past video about how I got out of the United States Army, and American society was in the middle of the Civil Rights Movement. American society was in the middle of the sexual revolution, and American society was in the middle of the psychedelic revolution, which made a deep and lasting impression upon my entire life. And coincidentally, according to the psychoanalysis, my interpretation, obviously it's my interpretation, of Carl Gustav Jung, the medical doctor, Storming Heaven has a profound and deeply spiritual meaning. So we have two books with the concept of storming heaven. And according to Dr. Carl Jung, psychiatrist and medical doctor, there is no such thing as coincidence, that every coincidence has a deeply spiritual connection. And that's why I'm showing you these two books together. Zachariah Stetson, The Stairway to Heaven, and this book, Storming Heaven, both about changes in society. Obviously, world society, American society, North American society, European society is going under profound changes. So the introduction of novel and innovative ideas at this time should not be too troubling and should not be too disturbing if they're introduced in the spirit of novelty and humor. Coincidence? Technical name, maybe, possibly. Synchronicity? Yay, orange juice. Nothing like a good, large glass of orange juice for breakfast. Frolic Frühstück. Yay! And just to heighten the coincidence and to stress Dr. Carl Gustav Jung, medical doctor, This seemed to be appropriate to introduce at this time, along with the orange juice. Orange Sunshine. It's a book like the first book I ever bought on LSD. Orange Sunshine was a street expression, a popular term used for a certain type of LSD. In one of the very past videos, almost the very beginning of my blog, I mentioned that somebody secretly, with quotes around the secret, slipped me some LSD when I was in the Army. That was going on regularly. Apparently it was a regular experiment that was being done with the, quote, blessings, unquote, of the American government. The short of the story is, as I posted in one of the very early blogs, was somebody asked me when we were traveling in a Jeep near the Netherlands border, the border between the Netherlands and Germany. Maybe it was Holland. I could see windmills off in the distance in an open farmer's field. And the guy driving the Jeep said, "Try this." I said, "What is it?" And he said, "Acid." And I said, "Acid? What?" He said, "Just try it, take it." And it was a very low dose of LSD. I didn't have any major hallucinations, but I did have depth perception increased, and I did have an oceanic feeling, and I did see the beauty of the world that I had never seen before, except when I was very young. That's part of the reason some people take LSD, is because it increases their sense of beauty, and the world becomes lovely and gorgeous in ways that fail most language. And the people who are against the use of LSD in psychiatric care simply do not know what they're talking about. Because along with the appreciation of beauty and the respect for all life, not only human life, that LSD causes, it also, for some reason, has some kind of spiritual attachment to it, that you realize the world is not just the material world, that just beyond your sense of vision is a spiritual world. And that helps people who have psychiatric problems. No, LSD is not like soda, not like whiskey, not like beer or wine. It's totally different. It's not like any other pharmaceuticals that are used for psychotropic problems. It's totally and completely different. There is no relationship between LSD and most people's experiences. And the people who say there is are either liars or they're deceiving themselves. In many of the government experiments on LSD, it was found that some people with severe mental illness can actually override the LSD effect. Apparently, they're so repressed emotionally, they're so rigid in their personality that the LSD has no or little effect on them. This, to me, according to the medical literature, proves that society psychology and our individual psychology is actually more important than our environment, except in relationship to the chemicals in our food or the chemicals that we take. Psychology of joy and happiness and the reason to stay alive without hurting anyone is much more important than physical possessions and much more important than money. And this is the hidden reason, probably, that many governments do not want any future experiments with LSD, is because it releases people even in very small doses. Like the dose I took was so small, I didn't even have a hallucination. All I felt was an oceanic feeling, a deep spiritual love for everybody. And this is the last thing in the world that most governments want, because almost the whole reason for government's existence would stop if everybody felt an attachment and a loving feeling. And I'm not referring to sex either. I'm referring to a companionship, a friendship, a Gemütlichkeit. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I've given you something to think about. And no, I do not use any illegal drugs. And I will not use any illegal drugs. And I'm serious. Do a voice stress analysis on that, and you will find out I'm telling the truth. That I do not use any illegal substances. I don't even use alcohol. Though I have nothing against alcohol, except in the context of mixing it with prescription drugs, verboten. The world is a much more interesting place than the commercial news media, the government, the schools, and the religions would have many people believe. And I'm being careful with my words, because not all governments, not all religions, and not all news media are so secretive. Sometimes they hint and suggest that the world is a very strange and interesting place. And the reason to stay alive is to learn as much as we can about the physical world and even its secret attachments to the spiritual world. That's an insight that LSD gives people. As someone once used to say, LSD was the most dangerous chemical that was ever created. But they didn't mean it was poison. What they mean, it cleared the windows of perception and opened up a whole new world for people who could understand it. Orange sunshine. A nice big glass of orange sunshine, as the advertisement used to say, for orange juice. Delicious. Really a reason to stay alive. To make life happy for everybody. Thank you for watching this video again. Have a good day. Orange sunshine. Orange sunshine. Orange sunshine. Yay, yay, yay. Orange sunshine.